Hello and welcome to Sports Hub. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Modern Sinkala, aka Ntapechela Umana Kwilans. We are happy to be back and thank you so much for joining us. It's a day before Valentine's Day, and I guess lovers out there, you should be gearing up for tomorrow. Alright, so today we have an interesting show. We have two guests that we are featuring today. One of them is a former footballer, now a coach. And the other one is still a player, and she's achieved something at the under 20 level. So I'll be introducing them shortly. But remember, we have all these segments that we have photo question. So we have a photo that will be displaying so that you identify who that player is. And also, that segment for what is trending is also on. And I have Julius Malulu and Ruth Gwedeza who will be updating us on what is trending. So Ruth, welcome to Sports Hub.
Oh, have you seen? Thank you so much. Before. I have. Thank you so much, Modern. Good evening.
Good evening. And what's for tomorrow, Tuesday? You ready to receive a bouquet of flowers?
We'll see. I just hope he's watching right now, and I hope he knows that he's supposed to. I hope so, for his sake. I hope he's ready.
What are you expecting?
Well, I'm not really sure. I love surprises, so I don't really want to put my mind on something. I might be disappointed. I might be expecting something big, and then he delivers flowers.
Julius looks worried. Where are you delivering a bouquet of flowers to?
Apparently, I'll be fasting tomorrow, so I'll be getting into prayers from 6 hours to 19 hours. So I'm not delivering any flowers to anybody, unfortunately.
What an excuse!
Typical Lusaka bachelor.
I'm delivering flowers to heaven.
So guys, what do we have? What's trending?
All right, we have interesting stuff that we have in as far as what's trending is concerned, Modern. First of all, what we want to talk about is our very own Alex Bazongonga. Now, there's something interesting about this guy, Modern, former Nkana player. In a week 14 fixture, in a game involving Power Dynamos versus Nkana Football Club, Alex Bazongonga was substituted by his coach, and that decision did not go well with him. And like we can see from the photos that are being displayed on the screen, he decided to react by first of all ripping off his jersey, and then also secondly kicking the SuperSport pitch side microphone, which did not go well with the Football Association of Zambia, and they decided to punish him. He was fined 20,000 kwacha and also banned for the rest of the season. That did not go well with the former Zambia international, and he decided to make a move and join Congolese giant TP Mazembe on a two-year deal. Now, from the time that he joined TP Mazembe Modern, he's been doing extremely well. He played 5 friendly games and scored 7 goals, something that he didn't even really do when he was with the Zambian side anyway. Yeah, and yesterday he played his first competitive match in the Confederations Cup tournament. So in total, he scored about 8 goals, which is, I think, a very good form for a Zambian striker. In Zambia, he's serving a ban from the Football Association of Zambia. In Congo, he's a darling to the TP Mazembe fans. Let me just first quickly throw it to my colleague Ruth. Ruth, what's your take? Look at such kind of misbehaving from a player, ripping off your jersey. Do you really think that's a good behavior coming from a professional player? Actually,
I think that was unacceptable, and I'm glad that actually the association had imposed that disciplinary action against him because of what transpired. It wasn't really good. Imagine you are in a stadium watching. You've brought your whole family to watch a game, and only
they're exposed to such kind of behavior.
You have kids watching, and they look up to these. These are their stars, and they always look up to them. And then somebody's displaying such kind of behavior. I just hope for his sake he's learned his lesson, and hopefully when he, and by the way, Zambia has now a new coach. Do you think he's coming back?
Well, interesting question, but then I love the fact that the new coach that has come actually made it clear. He said he's going to pick players based on merit and performance of how they are performing at their respective clubs. So for me, I feel Alex Bazongonga is trying by all means to impress the new coach. And I mean, I don't have a problem if really he's going to perform and continue doing extremely well. Then obviously he stands a better chance of being summoned to come and play for the national team. Because remember that the national team will be playing back-to-back matches. They'll be playing Lesotho in the Africa Cup of Nations qualifying 2023 matches. So really, it's good that Bazo is making headlines in Congo, and we're hoping that he'll continue making headlines, and also Avram Grant is going to consider him. Okay. We have something else that's trending. Ruth, take us through.
Yeah, we have. Remember the story that we had last week, where we shared that Barbara Banda was not going to take part in the Turkish Championship tournament. I'm glad to announce to Modern and Julius that our own Copper Queen captain will be taking part in the Turkish competition, and the competition has kicked off today on the 13th. So I'm really excited. I'm happy that her club has actually released her, and they also feel it's a good thing that she's going to take part in this competition, because they feel it's going to be used as a form of practice for her, which is going to be very good on her part. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited, and I'm happy that she's actually.
I can see the excitement on your face, because I remember, I think more than you remember on the show, the last time we talked about Barbara Banda, you didn't have you didn't wear a happy face.
I wasn't really happy that
you were very sad and disappointed.
I'm worried.
But it's good.
Where they are going in Turkey, that's where you know the country was hit by an earthquake where over 27,000 people have died.
This news has come with mixed feelings, if you ask me. Another thing that has really bothered me, I'm excited that they're going to be taking part in this competition, but at the same time, I'm in the middle. I have mixed feelings, because teams like Venezuela has withdrawn from the competition because of what happened in Turkey. I don't know whether it's a way of showing sympathy to the lost souls, or maybe they feel it's not safe. So I'm really torn apart. I don't know, Julius, what do you think?
The association has made it clear. FIFA has made it clear. The Turkish Federation has also made it clear that the players are safe, Modern. And the Football Association of Zambia, actually today on the President's Corner, they did emphasize the fact that the Copper Queens wouldn't have made the trip to Turkey if they were not assured of safety. And the reason why they had to travel and participate in that tournament is because they were assured that they are safe. So for me, my take is very simple.
That's a natural calamity, and
they are very safe.
No one can guarantee safety. It's a natural calamity.
Well, yes, that's your take.
If it's war, you can say, okay, they'll put some security measures.
Looking at what's on the ground, they've been assured that the safety of the players is guaranteed, and they're going to be safe. So let's allow the Copper Queens to take part in that competition, because remember that the Copper Queens are preparing to participate at the World Cup that's coming up in July. So more than really, for me, I feel they're safe, and we should just pray that all will go well with them, and nothing bad will happen. Ruth, you can take us through our third story.
We have another interesting, or rather strange story, Modern. Over the weekend, we saw a lot of pictures that were trending on social media. If you look at the picture that has been shown on the screen there, we have Cristiano Ronaldo there with a moth. I don't know if it's a locust on his. This was during the Euro 2016, and these pictures that you're seeing right here show what happened in Saudi Arabia during a match between El Wahda and El Nasser, in which Cristiano Ronaldo actually recorded his first hat-trick in Saudi Arabia. So you can see
it was in Africa, it was going to be Juju.
Exactly, and you know, this sparked a lot of talk among his fans, and others are calling him the real goat, such that even insects are coming to witness the goat, you know, play, and others are calling it bad luck. They're saying he's brought bad luck to the country, and so on and so forth. So I don't know, Julius, is this some you know, strange omen, or as what do you think? Does Cristiano Ronaldo have some influence on insects? I mean, if we saw that happening in 2016, and it's happening again in 2023, I'm not sure what to call that, whether it's a coincidence. Once it might be a coincidence, but twice.
Modern and Ruth, let's be realistic. Yes, if it's in Africa, they call that yo, panda and whatnot. You know how people talk anyway. But for me, I think it's just too early to judge the Portuguese superstar. I mean, I think the Saudi Arabian fans should actually appreciate the fact that they have a superstar in their league. He's been banging goals, you know. So really, I think it's really harsh judging him like that. And for me, I feel there's nothing attached. I feel there's nothing attached.
That was going to turn into delicacy. Delicacy that I really enjoy.
I think for me, there's nothing attached to that. Really, the fans are just being harsh on the Portuguese superstar. Allow him to be the Ronaldo that he's known for now. Let's not really hit him. Quickly, we can get to the last story of what's trending in as far as our trending stories are concerned. Wow, modern. Now that is what we're talking about. Look at our very own superstar, Barbara Banda, in a nice haircut. One thing about Barbara Banda is that she continues to remain unique. She's always creative when it comes to the way she comes out, and as far as the hairstyle is concerned. This time around, she's got a new hairstyle, and I'm also looking forward to see the new hairstyle that she's going to have when the Copa Queens go to Australia to participate in that World Cup. So I know Ruth can. So that's a Turkish more than I know Ruth can look nice in such a haircut. Ruth, what do you think? Though? What's your take? You can look nice in that haircut.
Julius, I will have to pass on this one. I'm not really a fan of cutting hair. She really looks good. This is dope. This is a dope haircut, if you ask me. And her profession with this haircut, trust me, she's gonna be trending for the right reasons. With her playing the way she does, we know what we have in Barbara Banda. So I'm really excited, and I can't wait to see this haircut on the pitch.
I think more than I'm going to try that haircut and see how it's going to come out. But I know that I'm going to look good. But truth be told, Barbara Banda looks good, and the new hairstyle is lit. More than that's what we had in as far as what's trending is concerned.
Thank you very much, Ruth and Julius, for that update. Indeed. So we move on the program now. We look at what happened over the weekend. But before that, there is always a segment about how much do you know about Zambian sportsmen and women. So let's just recap on last week's photo. That player, he was a darling in 1994. Unfortunately, we only received one response from Harry from Livingstone, who said Debbie Makinka. Well, thank you very much for trying. Unfortunately, it's not Debbie Makinka, but that's Tenant Chilumba. Remember in 1994 when Zambia finished second at that AFCON tournament, he really played his lungs out alongside Elijah Litana and other players. So that's Tenant Chilumba. He is now a coach. He is an assistant coach at Zesco United. He's from Nkwazi, where he was the head coach, then left Nkwazi, went to Zesco United to be an assistant coach to George Chicken Luandamina. So that's Tenant Chilumba. Let's look at another photo for today. That man, who is that man, is also a legend of Zambian football. You can't talk about Zambian football without mentioning that man. Who is that man? If you know him, the number to call, the numbers will be crawling on the screen. If it's on WhatsApp, it's +260 955 2029 04. +260 955 2029 04. On Facebook, it's Modern Sinkala Sports or Sports Hub Facebook page. Then you will have reached us. It will be interesting to hear from you. Mention that player that we displayed on the screen. We want to know how much you know your Zambian sportsmen and women. All right, so as you keep on calling, let's look at what happened over the weekend. And we'll start with the MTN Super League. It was FC Moza 1, Napsa Stars 1, Forest Rangers 2, and Chambishi 0. Green Eagles 3, and Kansanshi Dynamos. Kansanshi Dynamos 1, then Lumwana Radiants 2, Kabwe Warriors 2, Nkwazi 2, Butco Neo, at least Nkwazi have won after a long time. Power Dynamos 1, Zesco United 1, Power Dynamos equalizing towards the end, Prison Leopards 0 and Green Buffaloes 0. Red Arrows 0, ZANACO 0, and then Nkana whitewashing Nchanga Rangers by 3-1. That's what happened in the MTN Super League, and Power Dynamos are still in top 4 with Forest Rangers. So that's MTN First Super League. Let's now go to the first National Division 1 League Week 23 results. It was Kafue Eagles 1, Young Green Buffaloes 1. This is the game that we showed live on TV3 on Saturday. Then Trident 1, Bats 0. These are the league leaders. Mufulira Wanderers 0, Mutondo Stars 0. Mpulungu Haba 2, Konkola Blades 2. And this was an interesting match, which was at Muzabwela ground in Mpulungu. And then Aguila Stars 3, Lusaka Dynamos 2. Lusaka Dynamos continue losing. We don't know what is happening. Up to now, they are yet to pick up form. In Livingstone Pirates 0, Kafue Celtic 0. Indeni 1, Jumulo 0. This is the game that we showed on TV3. And then Zesco Malaiti Rangers 0, City of Lusaka 0. And then the game between Atletico and Kitwe United has been postponed because Atletico have contributed a number of players to the under-20 national football team, which is in Egypt right now ahead of the AFCON tournament. Right, so from the National Division 1 League, let's go to the first Women's Super Division. Week 22 results. It was National Assembly Women 1 and Red Arrows 0. Yasa Queens 1, Indeni Roses 1, Prison Leopards 1, Trident Queens 3, Prison Leopards losing at home, Nkwazi Queens 2, ZANACO Ladies 0, Elite Ladies 3, and Busa Queens 1. Zesco Ndola Girls 5, Mufulira Wanderers Queens 1. This game we also showed it on TV3 on Sunday. Police Doves 0 and ZISD Women 0. So that was in the first Women's Super League. Let's now go to the FIFA Club World Cup third place final. It was Al Ahly 2, Flamengo of Brazil 4. Then in the final we saw Real Madrid beating Al Hilal by 5-3, and Real Madrid are the champions once again for the 5th time. Congratulations to Real Madrid. And let's finish up with the English Premier League. It was West Ham 1 and Chelsea 1. Arsenal 1, Brentford 1. Brentford are giant killers indeed. They managed to hold Arsenal, the league leaders. Crystal Palace 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 1. Fulham 2, Nottingham Forest 0. Leicester City 4, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Southampton 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2. AFC Bournemouth 1, Newcastle United 1. Leeds United 0, Manchester United 2. Manchester City 3, Aston Villa 1. Then the game between Liverpool and Everton is taking place right now as we are talking. Right, so those are the results from the weekend. So for now, before I introduce my guests in the studio, let's dance to a song done by Pompey. Stay with us. So we are dedicating this to the under-20 national football team, which will be playing the Africa Cup of Nations just in a few days' time. Let me say in the next 5 days or so. And Zambia is in Group C alongside Benin, Gambia, and Tunisia. Remember, Zambia, the champions before in 2017 with the likes of Patson Daka, Fashion Sakala, Enoch Mwepu. So we are wishing the likes of Songa Chipioka and the company all the best. Time for me to introduce my guests in the studio. I have two interesting guests. The first one is a former player and now is a coach. His name is Kelvin Kaindu. He was an enterprising winger for ZANACO. When he was playing that time, when he's on the wing, especially on the right wing, you can't catch him. So he's our guest for today. He'll be telling us about his story. Let me just welcome him, Kelvin Kaindu. Welcome, good to have you.
Thank you so much.
All right, all right. You are welcome, and you can take your seat there.
Sure,
then we also have an upcoming player. She's already started winning trophies. Her name is Mukumbuta. She's a goalkeeper for Yasa Queens, but now she's also played for the under-20 where she won COSAFA title. Anna Mukumbuta, you are welcome.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for coming.
Yes, yes.
All right, you're welcome. You can take a seat there.
Thank you.
All right. So let's start with you, Coach Kaindu. Tell us who you are, where you were, when you were born, where you were born, in which neighborhood, how your upbringing was.
Oh, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to come and be part of this TV interview. I was born in 1977 and I was born here in Lusaka. The challenge is I've never settled in one city because when I was growing up, my father was a police officer. He was an officer who was not putting on a uniform, so we could move from one city to another, maybe sometimes even 6 months or 1 year. And I've moved from Kitwe, I've moved to Mansa, I've moved to Kasama, I moved to Livingstone, and finally I came and settled in Lusaka.
So well-traveled man. And tell us about your family. How many are you in your family and all that?
I come from a family where we are only 4 of us boys that are remaining. Fortunately, I lost 3 of my brothers, and I also lost both my parents when I was still at school. But I learned a lot from that kind of a situation, that I think I started supporting my young brothers when I was still at school, and by the grace of God, from the small income that I would get from football, that is what sustained the family. And after I lost my parents, the fortunate part of it is I was adopted by the Mwale families that looked after me when I was in grade 10. They supported me and they saw me through until the other family also managed to get me, that is the Shepandes family that looked after me and also encouraged me to always concentrate and do what I loved most, which was football. The unfortunate part is when I was growing up, my father was not supportive that I play football.
Oh, okay. I'll be asking more about that. Let me turn my attention to Anna Mukumbuta. Mchwani?
Nishamchwani.
Andy. Okay, tell us more about yourself, Anna. When were you born, where, and how was your upbringing?
Yeah, so I was born in 2001. I was born in Lusaka, George compound.
Ah, George, okay.
Yes. Then I was born in a family of 4 and I'm the second born. And we are all girls.
All girls, so no
Yes.
boy.
No boy.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So let me get back to Kaindu. Since your parents did not allow you to play football, who inspired you to get into football? How did you get into football?
I think, I think what has changed with the football that we are watching nowadays, I think is different from the time that we're growing. I think we never had toys, we never had TVs, and I think the only entertainment that we had is playing soccer. We could play those plastic footballs, and maybe sometimes if you had money, somebody would come from a rich family and they would come with that ball. And every time I would play, people would say, but kamfana kakazwa ball, and that kept on inspiring me. I've never played youth football. Even when I started, I think I started playing church football. From there, I joined the amateur ranks. By that time, I think there was still a lot of teams for you to graduate, come and play in the Premier League. Unlike now, somebody will come straight from academy and begin to play in the national team or even play in the Premier League. By those days, I think there were so many levels that you need to pass for you to make it in football.
Right, but you also played rag football, chimpombwa.
Yes, I think all the players, I think during our generation or those before us, that's how we grew up. I think we used to play that kind of football from morning maybe until lunchtime. Maybe you go back and have lunch and come back and you still find the game is still on, and I think we're just playing it for fun.
Okay, but how did you overcome that challenge where when you go playing football, maybe they would whip you, and how did you overcome that?
I think it came a time like the way I'm saying. I think when my father got sick, the only thing I was doing is maybe playing for I think the Catholic League. By that, I had a league by that time, and we play from there. But when we were playing, I think there was an amateur team that was training from the same ground that we were playing from. And that's where I was identified that I could play football. When my colleagues joined that team, I think they would get a bit of an allowance, and sometimes they would be buying some food, and from there it inspired me. And I knew that the little income that I would get would probably start supporting the family. And that's how I managed also to help my young brothers to complete school.
Okay. Is there a player that you were looking forward to, a player that inspired you that I want to be like that player?
Growing up, I grew up in Skanze police camp when I was in grade 8, grade 9, and we would watch Nkwazi by that time when it was still in the Premier League, and being children of the police officers who were not paying, we just see go through. I think there were a number of good footballers in those generation teams. I think it was not easy to know which team will come out as a victor, and all teams were doing fine, and quite a number of players came out on the scene that you could really look forward to them and say, I hope and I wish that one day I would make it and play also in the Premier League.
All right. Anna Mukumbuta, tell us, since you grew up in George Compound, how did you develop the interest of playing football?
Well, I developed the interest of playing football through Yasa Queens. After they discovered that I can be a great player, that's how they picked me. By then I was playing school football and Kampombwa.
So you
all
also
those
played
stuff.
Kampombwa?
Yes.
Okay.
By then I wasn't a goalkeeper. I was an infield player.
Okay.
I used to play as a striker.
Ah.
But I wasn't that good, which I can even fit to be a striker or to play competitive football as a striker. That's when I had to discover myself that I can be a great player if I play as a goalkeeper. Okay. So that's how I started practicing as a goalkeeper until I became a great goalkeeper.
All right.
Yeah.
But is there a player you are looking forward to that I would want to be like that player?
Yeah, there was a goalkeeper. Unfortunately, she's late. Hope Solo, she was playing for USA national team. Yes, I'm sure she also played for Chelsea Women. Yes, that's the player.
That was your inspiration.
Yeah.
Okay. So where did Yasa discover you from?
There was a tournament in Soccer West. So that's how Yasa management came to watch the tournament. That's how one of Yasa management saw me and discovered, say, okay, we're going to get this player. But I wasn't just alone from the club, from the team which I was playing for. We are about 3 of us. We are about 3 or 4, if I'm not mistaken. Then all those people, they had to backslide. Then I had to continue with my talent.
So you're the only one standing among the 4?
Yes.
That shows determination.
Yeah.
Okay, so how were you received? I'm sure Yasa was your first proper club to play for.
Yes.
How was your experience and how were you received at Yasa?
Well, Yasa accepted me the way I was, and they believed that I'll be a great player one day. So they had to train me. They had to. So I would just say Yasa is my parent club. Everywhere I go, I say Yasa is my parent club because they're the ones who have developed me. They have developed my talent. They believed in me. That's how to develop everything, to become who I am today.
So you started as a goalkeeper at Yasa or before you joined Yasa?
When I joined Yasa, that's when
you turned to a goalkeeper.
Yes.
Okay, but you were discovered as a striker.
Yes.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Tell us about your parents. Did they encourage you to play football?
My dad used to stop me playing football, but my mom used to believe in me, but parents, they're difficult. You find that they're arguing because of me. Yeah. And you find that my dad would say, if you fail, by then I was in grade 7. Now him was like, if you fail your exams, you should go and stay somewhere else. You should move out from this house because you like playing football too much. So this thing.
Wow.
But
and you shocked them. You passed grade 7 exams.
Yes, I shocked them. And when I started school, I didn't start in grade 1 or whatever. By then I used to refuse going to school. I started school in grade 6. That's when I started school. I started in grade 6.
You've never been to at grade 1?
No.
Ah.
I've never been grade 1. I've never been grade 2. I only started in grade 6. Then I went into grade 7. I wrote my grade 7 exam and I passed. And my name was selected at Mwembeshi boarding school. But my dad refused. He wanted me to go at Senanga. I don't know, somewhere there in Mongo. Yeah. That's why he wanted me to go. But my mom refused. That's when Yasa had to pick me. And I started at Yasa. Then they took me to school. But I was managing school and football. You know, when you're doing school and football, you have to find the club which will understand you. Because there are some other clubs which they take football as it's a job and it's also your career. So you have to choose between school and football. So those two things are difficult to handle.
And you speak good English. So at what level have you reached in education?
Grade 12.
Oh, okay. Yes. When did you complete?
2021.
2021.
Yes.
Right. So how have you been managing to balance up? Because I know most footballers will say, school, I would rather concentrate on football. How did you manage?
The reason why I managed school and football is because Yasa Queens, they take school as their first priority before football. Then football is the second priority to them. So they'd rather you go to school, you miss ground, then you go to school. Yes.
Right, right. Coach Kaindu, how are you managing school and education? Because you also speak good English.
I think it's not easy. I think during our time when we were growing up, when we were starting to play football, most people would encourage you to play football. But now I think the generation that we have, we encourage our players that education is key. And in every area where you want to go, even coaching now, that's why they are requesting coaches to have a certain degree, and maybe you must have a qualification, and these are the CAF A licenses that have come. For now, it is quite important. During our time, I think it was difficult. I would make sure I would go to school, maybe knock off at lunchtime and go for practice in the afternoon.
All right, all right. Okay, so Anna, let's start with the national team journey. When that call-up came to go to the national team, how did that make you feel?
I was excited. Yeah, I was excited because my parents never believed that I'll achieve in football. But my name was named in the under-17 women. And I called my dad to say, oh, my name is there for the under-17. And he was like, what? This is not true. And I said, yeah, you will believe one day. Not until the time for the passport thing and NRC thing came. He was called to come and witness everything that we are doing, the process of those things. That's when he had to come, and he started encouraging me. Say,
oh, so now he encourages you?
Yes.
Okay.
He said you should work hard. Yeah.
Right. How was the experience at the national team?
Well, at first I was nervous because, you know, being the first choice for under 17 and under 20 and participating in the international games, it's the most difficult thing. You find that your heart is beating. Yeah, you are nervous. Say, all the people in the world are watching you. Yeah, so I was nervous.
Okay. So when you were called, you were outrightly named as the first choice goalkeeper for the national team. You had no competition.
I had a competition. The goalkeeper for, is it Busa? Yeah, she was my second choice, and there's also Edith Zimba from Yasa. She was also my second choice. So I had that competition, but by then I was disciplined. Even now I'm still disciplined, and I was the captain for under 20.
Right.
Yes.
Run us through that tournament where you went on to even win the COSAFA title.
Well, that journey, it was, you know, our coach was hard on us to say, you guys are soldiers, you're going to win, you're going to make it. Not until we had to meet South Africa, where we lost, Tanzania, where we lost 2-1 from Tanzania. So we were run-up for Tanzania, for the first choice, yes. So I got the silver I don't know.
Golden Glove?
No, I didn't get Golden Glove. You know, it's difficult if you're a goalkeeper to be chosen as a man of the match or the player of the match. You know, it's difficult because there are a lot of good players. There are a lot of good infield players that plays well than a goalkeeper. And the thing that makes a goalkeeper not to become the player of the match during the game is because you find that the team which you are playing with, maybe they're not even shooting on the goal. They're not even showing to maybe you're going to be the best goalkeeper. So yeah, it's difficult.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's look at some of the images. Which one are you there?
That one in just one.
Oh, just one. Okay. Yes. All right. And that's club outfit?
No, national team outfit.
National
the one
team.
we are playing with the South Africa World Cup qualification in Coloma Stadium.
At in Coloma, right.
Yes.
And who is, what's the name of the other colleague, your colleague?
Edith Zimba.
Oh, that's Edith Zimba.
Yes.
Right. So at this time you're just feeling like confident ahead of the match.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure we'll be seeing other visuals where you were in South Africa in the under 20 outfit. I'm sure. How difficult was that tournament? I'm sure those are the images, right?
Yes.
How difficult was this tournament?
Well, this tournament wasn't that difficult because, but you know, you have to take each game serious. Yeah. So, but the tournament wasn't that difficult.
And yeah, you are the captain, right?
Yes.
How big was that task? You know, you being the captain of everyone. Everyone is looking up to you.
No, the thing is just you just have to be humble, you know, and always put God first. You know, when you're putting God first, everything will be easy for you. Even to do the tax, everything will be easy for you.
Right. You are also going with favor?
Yes. You know, that's why I'm saying that everything, when you just put God first, everything will be okay with you.
Right.
Yes.
What do you think was one thing that made you win this tournament?
It's because we had that thirst of winning the tournament, and you know, after, I don't know if it was in 2015 after the under 20, I don't know if it was banned. Then in 2019, that's when it was being called up, and that was the first tournament. Yes, so we had to work hard for us to at least make that name, say, okay, in 2019 when the under 20 was called up, at least they did this.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so now some of your colleagues, because in that team there were players like Everin Susan Katongo,
Yes.
Ochumba Oseke. Now your colleagues have made it to the senior team. How do you feel about that your colleagues are in the senior team and you are yet to be there?
Yeah, sometimes it pains me, but looking at the position that I am playing and looking at the people who are in that position, you know, they are great players than me, like the likes of Azonali, Catherine Msonna, you know, so it's difficult for me to fit in to that team, but I'm preparing myself because there are a lot of things that happen. You may find that, God forbid, maybe Azonali has an injury, even Catherine Msonna, maybe I might be the next. So I just have to work hard so that I fit in that senior national team. Right.
So you are 21 now. How long do you think it would take for you to play for the senior team?
Even just this World Cup, I might be there.
I like the confidence.
Yes. Yeah, it's just how you are participating in the games and how your performance is. That would determine if you're going to participate in the senior national team or not.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, let me turn my attention to Coach Kaindu. Give us the journey of you playing club football, and how was it for you?
Not easy. Like I said, I could have started playing youth football, but it was difficult when we were playing the so-called Bola Chimpomba or Yamkomboni. there are people that identified that are the talent, and they recommended me to go to the young Onkwazi. I went there, I didn't attract any attention. We continued playing again. Somebody identified that had the talent. They took me to the main team of Onkwazi. And you know, those days it was not easy. When the senior players saw me, they say, Nankamfana, I can catch and come. You know, those days just the players would tell you to go, and that's how I left. But the unfortunate part is within 3 years they found me at ZANACO. And I think it was something else, because on that day I made sure that I punished them.
And that's you in a ZANACO jersey there at Sunset Stadium.
Yeah, those were the days. I think those are the days that we're enjoying. I think when I was putting on that jersey 17, and there's a particular field or particular side where I preferred, I think when I was on that side, I think I would enjoy my game.
What was your major attribute or strength?
I think the first thing that I used, I think I worked on my speed. I realized that I was quick in reaction, and once I started off, nobody would stop me. And then in the course of me having the ability to sprint, I remember the late coach Obi Kapita, he told me, I want to teach you how to cross the ball, because I've seen most of our wingers are not crossing. I started playing as a striker, but because of the stature that I had, the coach Obi Kapita said, I don't think you can make it as a number 9, so I want to be playing you as a right wing. And he just gave me one demonstration, and this is how you cross the ball. And from that time, I worked on that, and I think on my best day, I could hit the target on the striker.
A speedy winger, Kelvin Kaindu, when he's on the right, usually you can't catch him. So can you remember how many assists you made for ZANACO? Or maybe those days you are not counting. Or how many goals to your career?
I think my best season at ZANACO was in 2001. I think 2003, when I managed to come out as the leading goal scorer, and I came out second in the nation of Zambia. I think it's the first time that a player who is playing on the right or playing number 7 managed to score 17 goals.
And that photo, I can see a lot of great players there. I can see Evans Chisulo. Is that Evans Chisulo?
Yes.
Evans Chisulo. I can see Numba Mamba. I can see... wow, great players. Is it Kennedy Nketani?
Kennedy Nketani, Cosmas Banda, Lamek Njovu, I think should be Pumulo Simioti, Jack Chileshe, Numba Mamba, Ignatius Luipa. That was a team. It
was a great team indeed. Wow. What did you achieve with this team?
Quite a lot. I think this is the first time, I think, from 2000 that ZANACO came on the market and had the impact of winning the first league title. I remember was the captain at that time. It was not easy. I think most of the football by that time was dominated by the teams on the Copper Belt. I think it's the first time that we saw the league coming to Lusaka, and we managed also to defend the league also in the second year.
Okay. With all the great performance, Coach Kaindu, did you manage to get any national team call-up?
Yes, I did. I started, before I joined ZANACO, I think in the lower ranks, I managed to be called to the under-17, and then I graduated to the under-20. I think we managed to win the COSAFA in 1995 and 1996. I don't know what happened. I think when we were going for the tournament, I don't know, I think there was a mix-up in terms of age that was sent, and I was banned by CAF that I couldn't go. From that time, I was quiet, and when I made an impact at ZANACO, I was given the opportunity. The first opportunity, I think, was from the coach Patrick Piri and the fight on Sumkonda. Then came in Jean Brower, also gave me the opportunity to be part of the national team. And then the great Carlo, when he came in, I think this is the team that was assembled and which was quite strong, with a lot of sponsorship, with a lot of foreign players. That's the chance that I was there. The biggest challenge that I had is the injury that I had sustained at ZANACO.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about your coaching career, Coach. Most people say you are unfortunate, and especially in Zambia, that you are not successful with teams. You were at power, there wasn't nothing much to write home about. You are with Nkana, nothing to write home about. But you succeeded in Zimbabwe. What has been the challenge here in Zambia?
Not really as a challenge. I think like what the Bible says, a prophet is without honor in his own hometown. I think when I get to Zimbabwe, just from the border or the airport, I think I'll start taking a lot of photos from there, or just even on the plane. I think maybe it's the impact that I made. I went to Zimbabwe in 2012, and I think going there, by that time I was the second assistant coach to Wetson Nyerenda, and Numba was the first assistant. I was given the opportunity to go and coach Highlanders. It was not an easy task. I think Highlanders is one of the biggest teams in Zimbabwe. It has got a massive following of fans, and anything that you do as a coach is always in the newspaper. So when I joined them, I think the team was not doing very well at that time, but by the grace of God, we managed to do very well. And in the first season, I think probably this is a history that I've left, or the record that I've left in Zimbabwe. We went for 23 games without losing.
Oh, interesting, interesting. Okay, so before we go, let me start with you, Anna. What's the biggest thing that you want to achieve in football?
Well, to play as a professional player, to be as a professional player, of course. And I'm sure it's every player's dream to play as a professional player. To be as a professional player, of course.
What's your dream team?
Chelsea.
Chelsea women's football team. All right. Coach, what's the biggest thing you want to achieve? By the way, how are you relating with Emmanuel Amunike?
I think he is a great man to work with. I think it's not easy to work with people that have really made it in football. He's been an African Footballer of the Year. He's played for Zamalek. He has played for Barcelona. I think he was maybe the first black player or African player to play for Barcelona. He has been on top of football, and even for him to come back and play and coach ZANACO, it shows what kind of a person he is. And since he came in, is somebody that we can sit down and plan together, speak football language together. He can encourage you. I think he's a great person, and we are learning quite a lot from him.
Okay, don't you feel intimidated that maybe one day maybe you might lose his job to him?
No. I think the one important thing is believing in yourself and the ability that you have. I think he's coming in, and I knew that even from the time that I was playing, there's always something that I learned from every coach that coached me. So even having the opportunity to work with him, I think is also another privilege. I may learn one or two things from him.
Okay. Coach, tomorrow is Valentine's Day. Are you ready? What are you giving tomorrow?
I don't know. Typical African man. We don't normally follow such kind of things, but I've got a lovely wife at home, and I will try as much as possible to see if I can take her out for dinner.
Okay, Anna, what are you expecting tomorrow on Valentine's Day?
Well, I believe that Valentine is for those people who are in love a long time ago. Not for us who are in a relationship today. You find that you're in a relationship tomorrow, the relationship ends. So I don't believe in Valentine.
So you're not expecting any flowers tomorrow?
If he wants to bring, you bring. If he doesn't want, then it's fine.
Okay, do you like dresses? Do you put on dresses?
It has been long. I can't lie.
You don't like dresses?
Well, you find that sometimes when I wear dresses, even when I was at school, I used to wear a skirt. You find that people are saying, "Hey, the way you're walking, as if it's a tree or what." So I was being discouraged, so I stopped.
Okay, all right. So we end here for now. I won't subject them to ball juggling because they are footballers already, and it's an easy challenge. So yes. I'll subject them to something else, maybe swimming. So we have to end here. I was hosting Kelvin Kaindu, who is ZANACO FC coach, and also Anna Mukumbuta, who is now former under-20 player for women, because she's graduated. She's now 21. So until next week when I bring another set of guests, my name is Modern Sinkala, aka Ntape Chalamana Pilanzi. Goodbye.